That block of butter in your fridge right now, there's a real chance it's not what the wrapper says it is. Not a knockoff, not a cheap imitation. The brands you've been buying your whole life. In 2021, home bakers across Canada noticed something wrong. Their butter stopped softening at room temperature. 1 hour on the counter, still hard. 2 hours, still hard. What they uncovered became a national scandal named Buttergate that the industry's own investigation couldn't fully explain. More details later on. We expose 5 of the worst butters on Canadian shelves, including 1 with almost no dairy in it, plus 3 that give you what you paid for. Available at Loblaws, Metro, Sobeys, and most independent grocers across Canada. Stay to the end, because what separates the good list isn't marketing. It's a certification someone else checks. One rule before the list: real butter has one ingredient, cream, sometimes salt. That's it. So every product today gets the same test. What's in it beyond cream and salt? For real butter, the answer should be nothing. The problems fall into 2 categories: products positioned as butter that aren't, which you can catch by flipping the package, and products whose labels still say cream and salt, while the supply chain changed underneath them. Those are at the top of this list. Here are the 5 worst. Number 5. Spreadable butter blends. Beyond cream and salt. Canola oil, sometimes sunflower oil, sometimes both. The label says butter in large letters on the front. Flip it over, and right after cream, you'll find the oil. This is butter diluted to spread straight from the fridge. The industry calls it a butter blend, and labeling rules let the word butter dominate the front while the oil lives in the fine print. Press your finger into it straight from the fridge. Real butter resists until it warms up. This gives way easily cold. The added oil doing the work, not a shortcut in dairy science. Gay-Lea spreadable, Lactantia spreadable, and virtually every store brand version run the same play. Real butter, thinned with oil, priced close to the real thing, butter on the front, oil on the back. Wait until you see how much dairy is left by number 4. Number 4. I can't believe it's not butter. Beyond cream and salt, almost the entire product. The Canadian version lists vegetable oils, water, and modified palm and palm kernel oils before anything dairy. The only dairy in the tub is a pinch of buttermilk powder for flavor. No cream, no butter of any kind. Scoop a spoonful and rub it between 2 fingers. Real butter feels waxy with a light film. This melts into your skin almost like lotion. Mostly oil and water, not the fat crystals actual cream leaves behind. It sits on Canadian grocery shelves next to real butter. Same size, same colors, same shape. Shoppers in a hurry take home a product whose closest connection to butter is the font on the label. Regulators permit the name on the logic that consumers understand the joke. Stand in the butter aisle for 5 minutes and tell me everyone's in on it. Number 3. Becel Original. Beyond cream and salt. Everything. Becel contains no cream at all. It's margarine. Roughly 3/4 canola oil, plus water, plus modified palm and palm kernel oils. For decades, margarine was sold as the heart-smart replacement for butter. But hard margarines used partially hydrogenated oils, the main source of artificial trans fats, linked directly to heart disease, the exact condition the category claimed to prevent. Health Canada banned partially hydrogenated oils outright in 2018. Unilever says it removed trans fats from its Canadian margarines, including Becel, back in 2004, 14 years ahead of the month. Today's Becel is genuinely non-hydrogenated and trans fat-free. Press a spoon into the tub straight from the fridge. It gives way even cold because canola oil stays softer at fridge temperature than butter fat does. The tell that there's no cream here to resist you. But look at what hasn't changed. A processed blend of canola and modified palm oils. Sold steps from butter, wearing a heart on the lid. That's not cream, that's marketing. Now, the 2 entries where the label can't save you. Number 2, standard commercial block butter beyond cream and salt. Nothing. The label passes our test perfectly. That's exactly the problem. Here's the test that started it all. Leave a block on the counter for 30 minutes. Still too hard to spread? You're holding the same unexplained hardness bakers were posting about nationwide in 2021. The leading explanation, first raised by food writer Julie Van Roosendaal, Farms had been adding palmitic acid supplements, derived from palm oil, to cow's feed to boost milk fat. Palmitic acid has a high melting point. More of it in the diet, harder the butter. The group concluded in 2022, the hardening couldn't be solely blamed on palm supplements, and a CBC lab test of 17 brands pointed to processing changes as another factor. But nobody disputes this. The supplements were legal, widespread, and never disclosed. Dairy Farmers of Canada asked farmers to pause the practice only after the story went national. Your butter changed, the label didn't. Number 1. Gay Lea salted butter. Beyond cream and salt, nothing on the label. Number 1 is about what the label can't tell you. Spreadable blends hid oil on the label. B-Cell hid a margarine behind a health claim. Buttergate hid a feed practice from an entire industry. This one hides something different. A cooperative big enough to also own Sterling Creamery, a brand most shoppers never connect to it. Gay Lea is a Canadian dairy cooperative, farmer-owned, community accountability. That framing is the entire foundation of the trust shoppers extend to this brand. But Gay Lea's standard butter draws from the same pooled national milk supply where palm-based feed supplementation was common, the practice at the center of Buttergate. Their marketing answer, 100% Canadian milk, is true. It also tells you nothing about what the cows were fed. In a pooled supply, nobody can. Run the same counter test here. If it takes just as long to soften as the last entry, ask why a co-op this size still can't tell you what's in the feed. Nothing here was illegal. That's the point. Pooled milk supply. Undisclosed feed practices. A hidden second brand on the same shelf. 3 blind spots. 1 cooperative. Co-op by structure, not by disclosure. The 3 on the upcoming list have something no villain entry had. Standards that somebody else audits. Accessible. Organic Meadow. Certified under the Canada Organic Regime. Here's precisely what that buys you. Under organic rules, feed inputs have to be certified organic. The conventional palm fat supplements at the center of Buttergate don't qualify. The farms are inspected and audited by independent certifiers year after year. Not a promise on a website, a regulatory requirement. Run your own check. Leave a block on the counter for 30 minutes. If it softens to workable, your butter is behaving the way butter should. Organic Meadow is at Loblaws, Metro, Sobeys, and most independent grocers across Canada, which is why it takes the top spot. A certification you can actually find on a shelf. Mid-range, Rolling Meadow. 2 ingredients, grass-fed cream and sea salt. Under their grass-fed program, cows eat at least 75% grass and forage sourced from small farms of fewer than 100 cows. Full disclosure, because we do that here. Rolling Meadow and our number 1 pick share the same parent. A Canadian farmer-owned cooperative. We're recommending the standards, not the corporate family. You'll find it at Loblaws, Sobeys, Metro, and most major chains, around the price of a premium conventional block. Premium, Lancetre Organic, a Quebec cooperative, certified organic under the Canada Organic Regime. Its feed inputs and farms are independently audited year after year. Here's the premium hook. Canadian regulations require butter to be at least 80% milk fat. Lancetre churns at 84. European-style richness with a Canadian paper trail. Look for it in the organic dairy section at grocers across the country and at natural food stores. Canadian butter sits in millions of fridges under labels. Most shoppers read once and never question again. Spreadable blends cut with oil. A product named after the fact that it isn't butter. A margarine empire built on a health halo. And a supply chain that changed your butter in 2021 without changing a single label. 5 products. 1 lesson, read past the front of the package, and when the label can't tell you, look for a certification that somebody else checks. Check the ingredients. Do the counter test. If your butter won't soften in 30 minutes, it's telling you something the wrapper won't.